Hello everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. I've been working feverishly on this Farmhouse Cottage journal and I finally finished it. So I wanted to come out here and do a final flip through as part 4 of my Let's Make a Journal series. So I wanted to show you first the front. So some of this we did on together on a video. I have embossed all of these gears here with a embossing powder. This is a piece of a like a glitter paper that was copper, but I didn't like the color as much, so I did an embossing powder over that as well. And all the little pieces that are inside the little thing here, this little goodie here, is also embossed. So inside this little shell, the little pieces in there, and that's embossed. So I decided to do straps, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to secure them down since I'd already put the canvas on the front, and I wasn't quite sure how to do it, but I came up with this idea. So using some of the faux leather, I used grommets or eyelets, and I put a piece of the faux leather here with 2 of the eyelets at the top at the bottom. And I also used the faux leather for these straps, but I wasn't real crazy about the color of it. It was like too much, too dark, and it wasn't really fitting with the journal. So I decided to add some lace to the top of these. So let me unhook these so we can get inside. So both of these are done the same way, and then I have these eyelets here. And I have not secured it here on the spine at all, except I have secured it here on the back. So I had the same thing here. So you can see that. I have done a lot of stitching around the canvas. I also stitched around, this is an Amazon packaging, and I stitched around this as well. And then this is a little charm that I have dangling. It says Inspire, and this is a clock, and then a key. So we can see those. I love this little clock. It's very vintage. Matches the front here too very well. And so I won't talk too much about this. You could see the other video where we actually did it together, but let's go in on the inside. So on the inside here, this is also canvas, and a lot of this is from the Farmhouse Cottage set from my Porch prints. And then I have added in my own papers and my own designs and other little goodies inside. So I've added some tabs at the top, and this one says Farmhouse. Added some splatters as well, so you see the splattering here on a lot of pages and on the cover as well. And then I'll just kind of go through it and show you some of the things that I have done with the pieces from that kit. Added some trims as well. Did a lot of stenciling with a Tim Holtz stencil. That is this one. Splatter. It's a THM S009. So I use that a lot. It comes in a set, I think, of 3. This is the smaller version of it. So let's continue on here. This is part of an envelope that we'll see down the road here. And so I turned this into a pocket. And this is coffee dye paper that I get from my sister, Nana's Crafting Cottage. So if you get a chance, go over and check out her channel. She does this for me. I love her pan because it puts all these marks in here when she coffee dyes. So she does them for me. Out of the kit, there is also this little booklet that you can put together, and all I did was add some of the pages in here, and then I just sewed right down the center and did some distressing on it, and then also some splatters. and also some stitching. So that tucks in here. We have music here that I've just done a stencil on, another Tim Holtz stencil. And then here I've turned that into a pocket with a tiny paper clip which holds in this little tag. And then here I used a CD envelope, and then I created this little tag to go inside, also some stenciling on the back. Added this cute little flower on the front using a tiny brad for the center. Also some splatters. Splattering using that stencil from Tim Holtz that I showed you on the back. And then here is a little booklet that I put together. And I just used one of the other pieces that was in the kit for the back of it. And I just did some stenciling on the back, so that way it looked kind of cool when you were going through it. You could see that the back wasn't just plain white. So I did that. And this I made cutting out some of the pieces from the kit and also adding a doily. Lots of stenciling on a lot of these pages. And then this is a page tab, and I've used this with the Tim Holtz, and this is the photo booth. And so I've also used the crystal embossing powder, and it gives it, it's kind of really rough feeling, but it gives it a really cool look. Added this charm on here, which is a little rose. And it's double-sided, excuse my phone, sorry, it's the house phone. So it's double-sided, so there's another picture on the back. And here I just did some stenciling. Here I made this into a belly band and took one of the journaling cards, stenciled on it, and tucked it in here. And then here I made this photo strip, and then I turned it into a belly band. I had also used a stencil with some of the Tim Holtz Ranger spray stains, the oxides, and I just sprayed on here a little bit. And then the photos are from his snapshot collection that I've added in here. Did some stitching. This is another little booklet that I did the same thing. I sewed it down the center, did some stenciling on the pages, and I tucked that in there. And then there's another tab at the top. And these are words that came into the kit as well. Here I just covered the page. There's the back of the tab. And then I added this public library card with the pocket. Added a little bit of trim at the bottom here. And on this side, I did a video on this page. And this is done with one of the lanterns that I completely cut out, added some acetate with some alcohol ink, and then I just collaged in here and did some splatters. Here we just stencil on the back. There's some stitching around in different various areas, and then I just stenciled on the other part of the CD envelope. And then on this side, the other side of the music sheet, again I used a tiny paper clip to hold this in, but there's a little tag that I used one of the tickets and just stapled it on. Did some stenciling on the back. A little bit more stenciling here. Here is the large envelope that I included in here, and I cut it open on this side rather than having to tuck in this way. So it's available for something, storage of all kinds of little goodies to share, to keep in there. And then I did this collage here. Just did some paper on this on the back and did some stenciling. I just did a little bit of stenciling on this, a little bit of splattering here. It's another page that I did some stitching, and then I did some splattering. Same on this, and same with this one, and then another page tab. Here I just did a little bit of stenciling, and a little bit from the stencil and the spray stain that came through from the other side, so it's a little stronger on this side. This is just a bag that I put in here from Chili's, where they put your silverware in there. So I just tucked it in, covered it, added this tag, did some stenciling on the back, a little bit of stenciling on the front and back of this. And then here I added this tag, I stitched around it, added a ticket that I just folded in half, and then tucked this little postcard in there, stenciling on the back as well. And then here is a coin pocket, and it's another piece of a film strip that I had put together that I added with a little rose dangle as well. And then inside is the tag, and also stenciling. And I tried to stencil on everything on the inside, so when you pull it out, you wouldn't see just stark white. More of the spray stain. Here's an envelope I had in my stash that I added in here that I'd done some time back. And then here I just did another tuck spot here with a tag, some stitching, and a part of a doily, and just tucked this postcard in here. And then this is a flip-up coin pocket, and inside I do have one of the little jars that came with it with a little bow on it. Just tuck that in there. And then some of these pages I have turned over and folded and done some stitching on. I just did some stenciling here. Here I just covered another CD pocket, front and back. And I just sewed on this and glued this on. Also made the opening out here, make it easier to put this in. And let's see, I should have, yeah. I added some coffee dye or tea dye paper and did some stenciling on it. Lots of places on here, even though the stenciling's there, lots of places to journal. A little bit of stenciling here. Added this little sentiment, simple life, and also added this page tab. I just did some stenciling on these pages here, again on the CD envelope. And then this is an envelope that I just turned into a flip out. Added a couple of these cards on the inside, stenciling on the back, and also in here. And then here, just a little bit of splattering, and also did some stenciling. And then this is a bookmark that I stitched together, added a eyelet onto it, glued this envelope flap down here, and made this into a tuck spot. And then here is another page charm that has this. And on the back also. Another Chili's pocket here that's available that I just covered. Added this little film strip, little girl on here. Made another belly band here with another film strip and another booklet. Also again stitching in and stenciling. Added this little paper clip just to hold it in place. More of the spray stain with the stencil. Just some splattering and stitching on these pages. More stitching. Did some splattering here and the back of the page tab. And on this side there is a page tab also. Cottage. Another one of the page charms. And then also some stenciling on this page. And this has a, it's a little butterfly with a flower leaf. Oh, it's hard to see. And then on the back of the page tab also. I tried to make some two-sided. Did some stenciling here. Another envelope, I just created a pocket, and here's an open coin envelope pocket here. I haven't put anything on the inside. Added this little trim on the outside. And of course, more stitching. There's a lot of stitching in this. I just added all kinds of stitching just to give it character. More stenciling here and here. Another pocket with another tag. And I used what I had left of the film strip as a topper. little tiny paper clip here, another CD case envelope here, and I just made this little card to go inside, covered the front and the back. And then here there's an envelope on the other side, so I just glued it in a couple of places at the bottom, and then I added this little journaling tag here, and also these little tickets. Added this little clip to hold everything in place, like that. And then on this side, put this little girl on here. She's really cute. And then this flips open this way, and in here I did add another tag with some ribbon and some stenciling. And another film strip here where I added the Sentiment family, and also another little booklet that I also added the pages in and sewed down the center. Did a lot of stenciling on the inside. And another little tiny paper clip to hold this in place. Like that. More stenciling. Here I had made this some time back on a crafty chat with my sister, Nana's Crafting Cottage. So I thought it went perfect in here. So I added this in as a tuck spot so things can be tucked in here. And then also I did the stenciling on the other side of the flap of the CD envelope. And then here again the music with a little paper clip to hold it. And I just put this little, oops, this way, little journaling card in. Everything I tried to stencil on the back of so it wouldn't just be stark white. And then here I used these postcards and I sewed all of them all the way around, and then I put them into this little waterfall. So all the stenciling on the other side and all the stitching. And then here I did an open coin envelope again, decorated, added this tag on the inside with a little bit of ribbon. I like when it peeks out like that. Here's a napkin that I just put on with a matte gel medium and just put that on here and did some splattering. I thought it was very fitting to go into this journal. And then here I just sewed around one of the tags. Again, it's one of the journaling cards, and I just created a little pocket here and added this tag inside, again with some ribbon. And here I just cut out one of the pieces from one of the pages and added a doily, did some splattering, just a little decoration on there. Stenciling here and splattering and stenciling here and here. And then another page tab. More stitching, lots of stitching around a lot of these pages. And then here's the flap of the large envelope that was in this last signature here. And so I just did some stenciling on it, and then I added just a couple of tags inside. Did some stenciling on the front, and then added the tags and added the little tiny paper clips to hold them in place. And so we've got this one. And then we've got this one. It's just a little tag. Again, lots of journaling. Wanted to make sure there was a lot of places for that. So just tuck those in. And then here is another envelope. And inside I just put a tab on this card and did some stenciling and sewed this on with some stitching. And then here I just made an open coin pocket again, and then added this tag with some stitching and some sari silk on it and some stenciling. More stenciling here. And stenciling on the front of the envelope. And then here on the other side of the envelope, I created another pocket, added this tag with some lace and a ribbon bow and some stenciling. And then here I used a tiny envelope that was in the kit, and then I just did some stenciling on it and tucked this tag on the inside. It also has a bow and ribbon and some lace. And then in the back here, I just tucked in these 2 tickets. So it's like a double pocket. And then there's also the stenciling on there. Then on this side, another music pocket with a little tiny paper clip. And then I just added this card. Oh, I need to stencil on that side. Okay. I was really being careful, making sure I caught everything. Did some stenciling here, another CD envelope here, and then I just made this card to go on the inside. And then here I used one of the other pockets that was in the kit, and then took this pocket, tag, and then added that in, added some splatters to all of this as well. And then here is a piece of one of the film strips that I had made, and so I wanted to add that on here, and it is also a tuck spot. It's just stapled onto the front. And here's some journal space, lots of writing. And then another pocket that I had in my stash that I had done some time back. So I added that in here. Added another page tab, charm. The little girl there. This is a dragonfly charm. Kind of hard to see. And then another little girl on the back. More of the spray stenciling with some of the stencils. And then I just cut her out and inked her up, added her to the page, did some splattering, and added this little quote here, "Be still," and then simple up here. It just seemed like a simple life. And then here's the other part of the envelope. So I made it into a tuck spot. I stitched on the back of this card and then stenciled on the back. And then I cut these cards out. And then I stenciled on the back. And those get tucked in here. And then down here I just added a piece of the film strip that I had made. And just added that on as a little embellishment. More stenciling and more journal places in here as well. Same here on the CD envelope and on the back of the music. And then another card here, candle, some stenciling. And it's also held in here with a little tiny paper clip. Another piece of the film strip. I just clipped it up here at the top and then did some stenciling. And then the envelope I just covered with some grungy looking paper. Did some stenciling here. And so it's got a opening here to put all kinds of goodies in. And on the back I just added one of the other pages and did some stenciling. Splattering here and stitching. And splattering into the back. And this is also canvas that I printed on and put in the back. So it's a piece of canvas here that was a page from the kit, and then there's some papers in there that I printed on canvas to use for the spine area. So that is front and back the same way, so you can see that. And then I wanted to add a little bit of like a headband, so I just took some of the trim that I was using, and I put it up here and I put it at the bottom just to add a little bit of character. And of course all the threads, I cut them shorter, they were much longer, but all the threads peeking out just give it a lot of character, along with the charm, the dangle. And here's the stitching where all the signatures were stitched in. And then I used one of these, I'm not really sure what they're called, but it's like a brad. So you just poke the hole, put it in there, and then it has a ring to hold whatever it is that's dangling down. I can't remember the name of them, but I thought that was a pretty good idea to do that. So that is my Farmhouse Cottage journal. See, it's pretty chunky here. Tabs out the top, tabs out the side, and then the straps that come back and secure. And it's got room to grow, so the straps can be loosened. There's lots of area in here to tuck things, and you can make it a little bit looser so that you can tuck all kinds of things in. And being a soft cover as well, it's kind of squishy, so it's got a lot of room to grow. So I wanted to come out here and share my flip through of my Farmhouse Cottage video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been working on this for quite a while, so it feels good to have it finished. So I hope you enjoy the video, and you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. You guys have a good one. Bye.